You digging that? That's a hat I had made for my photography business. Michael Wilkie Photography. Got a couple of these left. Gave most of them away. So the point of my video today is to share with you my answers to my own contest, because I never gave them, and a lot of people have been asking me what are your answers to the questions you asked. So I think it's only fair that I give my answers. Starting with number one. What are my favorite sports memories, or what is my favorite all-time sports memory? Not sure I can pick one, honestly. First, I want to talk about how I first got into sports cards. Around 1977, started watching baseball on WGN. I've told this story before, and TBS. Watched the Cubs and the Braves a lot. And we had a little corner store up the street from us called Pickwick that we found 1977 Topps baseball cards in. I believe they were, my brother can correct me, 30 cents or 33 cents a pack back then. We thought it was so cool. You could buy these baseball cards and then watch the same guys on TV. I remember there was such an excitement about it and a freshness and this, I don't know, I was always really enthusiastic about it because I saw the same guys playing on TV and I had their card with their statistics and everything, and I'd sort them by team, I'd sort them by position on the floor, wrap rubber bands around them and jack the cards up, something fierce. Put them in the spokes of my bicycle. I mean, it was awesome. Ever since I got cards the first time, I was absolutely hooked, without a doubt. That's what got me into it. The search for the rookie cards, that was the killer part right there, because it seemed to me like they were short printed. I could be wrong, but favorite sports memories, I'm just going to go through a few. Man, Josh touched on this one. The 1991 World Series with the Twins. Quite possibly, in my opinion, one of the best World Series ever. After 9-1-1, somebody else had this in their video too. When Mike Piazza hit that home run in that game after 9-1-1, I was emotional enough the way it is with the whole 9-1-1 thing. I can make an entire video about some of the things I did after 9/11 happened, because that was unbelievable. And I'm an emotional guy. There are two things that get me when it comes to my emotions and what can make me break down or choke up or cry. One is seeing true love between people, and the other is honor. Anything that highlights or features honor. So those first responders, policemen, fire, EMTs, heroic people that helped, all those stories. I think for a week straight I found something on TV that made me cry when that happened. But anyways, I'm getting off track. So the Piazza home run and seeing the reaction of all the people when they sang God Bless America that first night back, it was like, not really a sports memory per se, but every no-hitter that's ever been pitched that I have seen live on TV, there's something about that last out of a no-hitter that makes me feel like I'm right on the mound with them. And I totally love that feeling and love watching a guy finish a no-hitter. And for me personally, hitting my 500th home run in my softball career a couple of years ago, and this summer I'm within reach. I'm only 40 home runs away from 600, and I think I can do it this year. Those moments are always really great. I hope I can get there. Number two was favorite YouTube or YouTube sporting memory. And I'm going to go with sharing three here. A lot of you probably know these stories, but if you don't, I'm sorry. I've picked up a lot of new subscribers this week, and by the way, thank you for subscribing to me. I really appreciate it. The first one that comes to mind is 2 winters ago, before I knew Tommy Golf 85. He sent me one of the most touching and emotional messages on YouTube that I ever got. I didn't know who he was, and the things that he said to me in that letter, I couldn't finish reading the letter before I had tears in my eyes. And just thinking about it, the kind of insight and self-improvement that he showed me through his words were really touching, and I've thought incredibly highly of the man ever since then. He's not just about, hey, what's up, YouTube? Tommy Golf 85 here. He's not just that. There's so much more to that man than what you see on camera. And by God, Tommy, I gotta get together with you and meet you. There's a card show up at the Earl Brown Center north of me this weekend. It's about as far from you, Tommy, as this from me. I'm going to be there Saturday afternoon. I would love to meet up with you. You probably have to work, or maybe you got to work. I don't know. That would be great. Second was, I ran that contest for people to send me unique items. And Ryan, I Am 140, sent me the letter and one of his medals from a triathlon he ran. And again, you want to talk about love and honor. That letter, as you all know who have seen the video, that I couldn't even make it through the letter. I had to pause a couple of times. It got in here, and when something gets in here with me, there's just no fighting it. And so that was a really special moment for me. And of course, going to nationals, everybody's talked about it, but it really is awesome. 2010 and 2011, whether it was Baltimore or Chicago, no, it did ramp up for Chicago due to the number of people there. Nationals is an amazing time. If you can make it, this is what this contest is about. Memories. Make memories. If you can make it, if you can find the financial means or the transportation or whatever, I'm not going to say it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, but it's certainly worth going and doing and having the experience. I mean, chalk these things up in your life. Go do nationals. Meet other YouTubers. It's awesome. The first video I remember watching was by a guy named Fast Eddie. He was a fast-talking, high-energy guy that did some breaks, and I don't remember much about him. I do remember seeing it thinking, this is cool, man. People are doing cards on YouTube, and then I started searching box breaks after that and found a few random guys here and there, and that's how I kind of stumbled across Chris and the Hobby Box. And you want to see something funny? My very first video, which is still on my queue in there somewhere, go back and watch it and see what an absolute pud I was in that video. You'll laugh. I was so uncomfortable being on camera the first time. I'm not even going to tell you what I did or try and copy it. Go back and watch the video. It's just stupid. My all-time favorite video on YouTube, there's an awful lot, so I'm just going to touch on a couple. First and foremost, I love people's contest videos. Whenever somebody does a contest, it stimulates me to conjure up some creativity and come up with a video response. And I love the differentiation in people's ideas for their contest videos. So I love it when somebody throws out a sub-contest or any other kind of contest video, and I will almost always jump on board, if I have the time, to make some kind of a video for that. The one that stands out for me is one that I watched over and over and over again and laughed at, and I shouldn't even give it this much credit because it was a rant video. But it was freaking hilarious. Gary, King of Steak, when he ranted on Aslan 7, most of you don't know who this guy was. He was an arrogant, pompous jackass. I don't even know what happened to the guy. He was a doctor. He loved to brag about his money and how he had everything in the world. I'm not even going to get into that. And he crossed the line, and Gary let him have it. You got to search that video out because it is so funny. It's unbelievable. Loved it. Number 5, future memories I'd like to make. Continue doing what I'm doing here. I love this so much as a hobby. Really is a great escape and a good getaway from everyday life. Truly something that I love as a hobby, and I devote a little bit of time to every day when I have a few moments during my day. So what do I want to do? I want to meet more of you. I want to meet more people on YouTube, whether I'm in town wherever you live, or where we meet at a nationals, or some kind of special event comes up, you know, like I drove down to Nebraska to meet 5 or 6 guys down there. If there's 5, 6, 7, however, enough people get together in a city that's within driving range from me, or maybe even further, shit, someday I might even fly somewhere, it's worth it. Meeting people that we share these same interests with, it's worth it. For me it is, personally. So, with that being said, those are my answers, and again, I thank everybody who's made a video response. I've really had fun watching every single minute of every video. Tremendous answers. Great positive energy coming out of this. And I love it! The last thing, when I showed my list on my computer the other day of the Hall of Fame legends and Hall of Fame players that I'm trying to get, all the names that were in yellow are ones that I have already. The names that were not filled in yellow were the ones I'm still trying to get. So anyone that has any of those names, if you'd go back and watch that video, if you have any cards, whether it's a patch or an autograph, please let me know. I'd love to trade or buy them. I'm going on some of the names that I really want to get again. Fred Dean, Walter Payton autograph, Red Grange, Floyd Little, Gary Zimmerman Broncos, Dan Deerdorf, working on that, Sid Gilman, Rayfield Wright from the Cowboys, Bill Bates, Larry Zonka, would love a couple of his cards, auto and game used, Reggie White, the Minister, Mel Hine from the Giants, Dandy Don Meredith, would love an auto, Earl Dutch Clark, that's a hard one. Calvin Johnson, I have one in a set, but I'd like to get another one. Bobby Lane, Forrest Gregg, Don Hudson, Ray Nitschke, Jim Ringo, Jerry Kramer, Mike Haynes, Andre Tippett, Stanley Morgan, Ollie Matson, would love an autograph, hard to find. Game used are pretty hard too, they're spendy. Jackie Slater, Bob Waterfield, spendy autograph. Norm Van Brocklin, really spendy. John Riggins, Albert Glenn Edwards, Darryl Green, big on finding one of his. Wayne Milner, Jim Finks, Jack Ham. No, I'm good on Jack Ham. I found one in my box the other day. I'm good. Lynn Swan and John Stallworth, loved those guys growing up. Mike Webster, Mel Blunt, Joe Green, Mike Munchak, Phil Simms, Randall Cunningham. Let's see, Steve Smith from the Panthers. I consider him a legend because he's done great things for the franchise. Keyshawn Johnson. There's a lot of other guys that are not Hall of Famers, but if they spent 5 years with an organization and they had some kind of an impact, like Javon Curse, he was known as the Freak. Never going to be in the Hall of Fame. But did he have an impact on a team? Sure he did. So I consider him a legend of sorts. Anyone you can make an argument for in a story, I'm interested in getting them into my collection. So if you have something, let me know. I will send you money, or I will send you cards to trade for it. Again, thanks. The Blog Show, Saturday at 8 p.m. I have cards in boxes that I'm going to be busting. I have some things I'm going to be giving away and some surprises. Please tune in. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. It's going to be a hell of an event, baby. You guys got to get your diaper dandies on and you got to tune in on Saturday night. What the hell am I doing?